Have you ever stood before something so old, so massive that it defies imagination? The Pyramids of Giza, the mighty Sphinx, the tombs of the Valley of the Kings, all built thousands of years ago, without cranes, without concrete. And yet they stand today, whispering the secrets of an ancient world. Today we journey back more than 4,000 years to explore the powerful civilization of ancient Egypt, a world of pharaohs and priests, slaves and scribes, gods and ghosts. Let's unveil the mystery of Egypt's legacy. To understand Egypt, you must first understand how they saw the world. To the ancient Egyptians, life and death were part of the same river, always flowing, never truly ending. At the center of it all was the pharaoh, believed to be both king and god. He wasn't just a ruler, he was a divine bridge between the heavens and the earth. The pharaoh maintained Ma'at, the concept of balance, order, and truth. Without Ma'at, the world would fall into chaos. But the pharaoh didn't rule alone. Egypt's society was highly organized. Just like the pyramids they built, Egyptian society had layers. At the top was the pharaoh and his royal family. Below him, powerful priests and nobles managed temples, wealth, and land. Scribes formed the intellectual class. Trained to read and write hieroglyphs, they recorded history, laws, taxes, and prayers. Craftsmen and merchants filled Egypt's cities with goods, from jewelry to papyrus scrolls. Farmers, the backbone of the economy, toiled along the Nile to grow wheat, barley, and flax. And slaves, often prisoners of war, served in temples or large estates. Each person had a role in maintaining order and pleasing the gods. The Egyptians believed in a powerful group of gods and goddesses, each responsible for a force of nature or human emotion. Ra, the sun god, sailed across the sky by day and through the underworld by night. Osiris, lord of the afterlife, judged the souls of the dead. Isis, goddess of magic and motherhood, restored life. Anubis, with a jackal's head, guarded the tombs and prepared souls for their journey beyond. Religious festivals, temple rituals, and offerings kept this divine world in harmony, but the most sacred event came not in life, but after it. To the ancient Egyptians, death was not an end, it was a beginning. When someone died, their body had to be preserved. Mummification wasn't just about saving flesh, it was about preparing the soul for the afterlife. The process took 70 days. The body was dried, cleaned, wrapped in linen, and placed in a coffin, often inside multiple nested coffins, each beautifully painted. Why so much effort? Because the soul, called the Ba, needed a physical body to return to at night. Without a preserved body, the Ba would be lost forever. Burial was more than a ritual. It was a cosmic necessity. In the afterlife, the soul would face judgment before Osiris. The heart was weighed against a feather. If the heart was heavy with sin, it was devoured by a monster. But if it was pure, the soul would live forever in the field of reeds, a heavenly version of Egypt itself. The greatest expression of this belief in eternity, the pyramids. The most famous are the 3 pyramids at Giza, built for the pharaohs Khufu, Khafre, and Menkaure. Let's pause here. The Great Pyramid of Khufu, built around 2560 BCE, was the tallest structure in the world for over 3,800 years. No steel, no wheels, just brilliant engineering. Blocks weighing 2 to 15 tons each were cut, moved, and lifted with ramps, sleds, and sheer human power. More than 2 million stone blocks form the Great Pyramid. These pyramids were not just tombs, they were symbols of divine rule, cosmic harmony, and eternal life. And near the pyramids sits the great Sphinx, a lion's body with a man's head. Carved from a single limestone ridge, the Sphinx is still a mystery. Who built it? Why? What does it mean? Most scholars believe it represents Pharaoh Khafre guarding his tomb. Its original face was painted, and it once wore a ceremonial beard. Today, it watches silently over the desert, a riddle without a final answer. Later, pharaohs moved their tombs away from the pyramids. Why? Because grave robbing had become a major problem. Instead, they built hidden tombs in the Valley of the Kings, or a rocky valley near Thebes. Here lies the tomb of Tutankhamun, the boy king. Discovered in 1922 by Howard Carter, his tomb was packed with gold, statues, jewelry, chariots, everything a king might need in the afterlife. The discovery stunned the world and reignited interest in ancient Egypt. Temples like Karnak and Luxor were not just places of worship, they were cosmic theaters where rituals ensured the sun would rise, the Nile would flood, and crops would grow. How do we know so much about ancient Egypt? Because they wrote everything down in hieroglyphics. These were not just pretty symbols, they were a full writing system with over 700 characters, representing sounds, ideas, and objects. For centuries, these writings were a mystery, until the Rosetta Stone was discovered in 1799. It had the same text written in Greek, Demotic, and hieroglyphic, and allowed scholars like Jean-François Champollion to finally decode the ancient language. Thanks to this, we've read poems, legal texts, spells, tax records, and love letters written over 3,000 years ago. Hieroglyphics made knowledge eternal. Egypt wasn't just about rituals and religion, it was also a hub of innovation. They developed surgical tools and performed basic operations. They calculated time using sundials and water clocks. They mapped the stars and developed an early calendar system based on lunar and solar cycles. Their architects used plumb bobs, levels, and grids to plan massive buildings with precision. Even toothpaste, the Egyptians had it, made from crushed eggshells, ash, and herbs. Their influence on mathematics, medicine, astronomy, and engineering spread across the Mediterranean and beyond. Even though the ancient kingdom of Egypt fell to the Greeks, then the Romans, its culture never truly disappeared. The grandeur of the pyramids inspired the architects of Rome. The religious rituals influenced the early Christian monastic life. And hieroglyphic art found its way into modern tattoos, logos, and jewelry. Today, millions visit Egypt each year to gaze upon temples, tombs, and treasures of a civilization that once ruled the known world. But the real legacy of Egypt, it's the idea that humans can build something eternal, not just in stone, but in memory. The sands may shift, the empires may fall, but some legacies, like the pyramids, are carved to last forever. If you enjoyed this journey through ancient Egypt, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories that shaped our world. Until next time, may your curiosity guide you deeper into the past.